Hey, welcome back. All right, so this is a leftover bottom bracket shell that I had, and I'm going to use this as reference. And what we're going to do is we're going to make two caps. Hold on a sec. So as you saw earlier, I disassembled the whole bicycle frame jig, and I've got it polyurethaned outside. It's drying right now. And somewhere in here, oh, maybe it's not in here. Where did I put it? Oh, okay. I guess I forgot to take this apart. I got to take this apart, and this is new, so this needs some polyurethane. But for now, I will. I need to get this off here, so I'll do that right now. Yeah, so this is the, so this bolt holds the bottom bracket on the jig, and as I said, I need to make some caps for this. Okay, so this is for the inner diameter inside here. Actually, that looks a little bit too, I guess that's all right. It's okay if it's a little bigger because I'm gonna grind with the angle grind. I'm actually gonna throw this disc on something like this. This is gonna go in the drill, and I'm going to angle grind while it's turning the outer diameter. So this goes inside, and these are the end caps. And this doesn't need to be exact because it will get ground up. Oh, can't forget the little center. I took this off the drill because I noticed it's not concentric. And where's that bottom bracket? So if I put this here, you can see it's not really concentric. And the reason this is happening is the drill is like bouncing around on the grinder. So I took it off, and I think for you guys out there, if you plan on making these, so this is the insert. This actually holds, this will sit inside here. It needs to be ground more, and it holds this bottom bracket shell centered. But I'm not liking how warped it is. It's fine for these because these are just caps, but these need to sit inside. So I think if you don't have access to a lathe, I would throw these on a lathe. But if you don't have access, which is the whole reason why I was doing this, if you don't have access, you could probably do these the way I did. But for the ones that go inside, I recommend using wood, because they can be thicker. And if you get it, you know, when I did the C-tube cone, you could do the same with wood and have it sit inside here as an insert. And because it's wood, it's much more malleable, grindable, whatever, and it will be concentric and won't bounce around the way this thing did. Yeah, so I'm going to throw this on the lathe. Okay, I'm going to turn this down on the mini lathe, and this is not precise by any means, but that's okay. I'm not going for precision. I'm just trying to get this round enough and get it good enough. Wow, it's pretty bad. By bad, I mean it's like super warped. It's very warped. All right, let's see where that gets us. Uh-oh. I took too much off. What a bummer. No. I gotta cut another one of these. I've got my other one. Okay, I had two, and this is my uncut. This is the other one, and it's not cut at all. So we'll. I think the other one I had too much material ground off to begin with, so. Oh well. Ooh, it's a little tight by insert standards in this scenario. It doesn't look tight, see? But I will tell you, when you weld onto this shell, you weld your tube on here, it's going to distort and warp, and this thing will actually get stuck in there if it's too close, if it fits too well. So I'm going to take it down just a tiny bit more, maybe about 2 thousandths around, and that should do it. Okay, that feels pretty good. If it does get stuck in there after welding, I mean, you can just tap it out. But this is, I think, about the right amount of play. I've got my inserts all cut, and they fit in here pretty nice. Oop. And something occurred to me, and that is, so, you know, this thing goes on here, and then it goes through here, and then the cap goes on. But this insert will swish around in here. I want to secure this insert onto the cap, so attach it like this. So what I think I'll do is I'll drill 2 holes and I will tack weld this to the cap. Okay, I have my holes drilled into my inserts, and I'm going to TIG braze these down onto the end caps. All right, that was a disaster. I wasn't expecting, you could probably hear the noise it was making. I think what happened was the bronze, the silicone bronze, was reacting with, there's like this, I forget what this is called, but it's a coating of stuff on top of the steel. And I ground it off a little bit, like down inside on this part, but you know it's still all around, and when it heats up, it's probably releasing something that the bronze does not like. So as soon as I heated the bronze and it kind of wicked in there, it just started making that fizzly sound. TIG should never make that sound, so that was really not good, but I ended up just um, slopping through it and finishing it, and these are on there now, good enough. So yeah, I don't think I'll do that again. I'll just tack weld it with TIG, unless I feel like cleaning these up completely down to the shiny metal. Okay, so after watching that super cringy video, I knew something was up, and I came back into the garage, and I'm going to show you guys what I did. I have here, I've got low fuming bronze, and the other one is what I actually wanted. This is the silicone bronze. So I grabbed low fuming bronze by accident. So now you guys know what happens if you try to TIG weld low fuming bronze. This stuff is for brazing, not for TIG welding. So, oh my gosh, never again. Pretty good fit. So these nuts that center this bolt, they need some way of locking on here. I mean, you could just kind of sit it in here, but it could twist a little and then become off center. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to drill a hole, I'm going to tap it, and I'm going to use a set screw to hold these end nuts in place. The other option is you could use nuts that are half the width, and you could counter turn them to lock themselves into place. That's another option if you don't want to drill and tap. And you don't want to put the nut on the outside because this thing, that's how the clip holds it. So All right, so there's a number of ways you can do this. You don't need to use, you could use a set screw. I probably will get a set screw, actually. You can also just buy a collar. So there's that way. You can probably buy something like this without having to do all that work. But I wanted to show you guys how something like this could work if you have access to a collar or anything like that. So this will also work. All right, that's pretty much wraps things up. And before I go, a little update on the mini town bicycle. I've started ordering parts. We have a long weekend coming up. That's 4th of July weekend. So I was in a fury ordering parts. I think I ordered just about everything. There's probably a few stragglers, smaller things that I didn't order yet. So be on the lookout for that in the upcoming videos. We're going to start this thing, and I'm pretty excited. All right, one last thing before I go. I want to plug Joe's podcast. He has a podcast called Shut Up and Build Bikes. And I've listened to all of these so far, and they're all great. So the first one, he has Chris Henry of 44 Bikes. Chris was a huge, and still is, a huge inspiration for me when I was building my first jig. I can't count the amount of times I've looked through his, I think it was a Flickr account, and he had posts of his Arctos style jig up there, and yeah, I studied that a lot. And then we have Bernsey of Oddity Cycles. I still do follow Bernsey on Instagram, and I just love the style of his bikes. And the last one so far, there's more. Joe will do plenty more, but the latest one is Julie Ann Pedalino. And that is a really fun podcast. I listened to that actually today. So go check it out, enjoy, and show your support. I hope Joe keeps doing these. Thanks, Joe. And thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys later.